Joe Biden and his merry band of misfit military leaders who are more concerned with recruiting gender non-binary CIA agents instead of people who actually know how to conduct intelligence operations turned America into a complete embarrassment in front of the entire world due to the disastrous withdrawal of our troops from Afghanistan. It went so bad that old Joe has united the country, and now everyone agrees that his administration is completely incompetent.
We should hold him accountable for his leadership during this time, which has frankly been an utter failure. What we are seeing on the ground right now, should have been done differently, and there is only one person to hold responsible, and that is President Biden.
All around, this is just a horrible, horrible mark on the United States under President Joe Biden.
President Biden reportedly told his advisors he wanted to avoid tragic and humiliating images like those from the fall of Saigon after the humiliating U.S. withdrawal from Vietnam. Biden now has images as part of his legacy that are arguably far worse.
This is worse. The Secretary of State goes on TV this morning and says that this is not a new Saigon. He's right. It's worse.
The country is essentially now in the hands of the Taliban for all intents and purposes. They've taken over Kabul. The president, or should I now say the former president of Afghanistan, Ashraf Ghani, has fled the country. The Taliban have taken over the presidential palace. They've renamed the country the Islamic Emirate, taken down the Afghan flag, and hoisted up their own colors.
Grandpa Joe had a busy weekend of eating ice cream and napping when the Taliban succeeded in their armed insurrection, and so the entire world was wondering, where is old Joe? And so the White House released a statement that he would address the nation later this week about the news. Hey, what's the rush? Then, after further embarrassing America by hiding in his basement, his caretakers rolled him out in front of the teleprompter to read a statement where he blamed everybody but his administration. Further compounding the embarrassment, this was old Joe just a few weeks ago addressing people's concerns about the withdrawal.
Is a Taliban takeover of Afghanistan now inevitable?
No, it is not. Because you have the Afghan troops have 300,000 well-equipped as any army in the world, and an air force against something like 75,000 Taliban.
Don't worry, folks. The Afghanistan army is just as capable as any other army, he said, which we've been training for 20 years, by the way. And here they are, unable to even figure out how to do jumping jacks. Old Joe dug himself in a really deep hole this time. Here he is at that same press conference just a few weeks ago, promising that this wouldn't be anything like the fall of Saigon during the Vietnam War quagmire.
The Taliban is not the North Vietnamese army. They're not remotely comparable in terms of capability. There's going to be no circumstance where you see people being lifted off the roof of an embassy of the United States from Afghanistan. It is not at all comparable.
Under no circumstances, huh? Even Don Lemon, the dumbest man on television, could see the obvious.
You know what? There's no way to put it, sugarcoat it. The words are harsh, and they should be. They should be harsh. Words like chaos, debacle, disaster, even comparisons to the fall of Saigon, for those of you who are old enough to remember that. That is the only way to describe what we are seeing right now in Afghanistan and what we have seen.
It's actually worse than the fall of Saigon because that famous photo of the helicopter on top of that building actually rescued people. Whereas this military aircraft, which fled the Afghanistan airport, ended up killing at least 3 Afghanis who tried to hitch a ride on the aircraft and then later fell to their death. I'm surprised that old Joe didn't commend the Taliban for reinstituting the mask mandate now that the Taliban is in charge because, well, the women are going to have to wear burqas again. And this is not a joke, by the way. The Taliban has a Twitter account. Yes, the armed militant organization which just overthrew an entire country has a spokesperson, of course, like, any terrorist organization or government does, and they have a Twitter account. Donald Trump, as you know, when he was the seated president, was banned from all major social media platforms after a mostly peaceful protest at the Capitol got a little bit out of hand because they said that he incited an insurrection, but a literal armed militant insurrection that overthrew a country has their Twitter account still. The fall of Afghanistan will probably drop from the news after today or tomorrow, and they'll get back to playing their regularly scheduled broken record about the mask mandates, mandatory vaccinations, and Bill Gates has even returned and is doing interviews, even though, of course, he's not a doctor, but he has plenty of medical advice that he likes to share with us little people. I'm sorry, share? I mean, force upon us. I'm not sure who's worse, him or the country's lead quack, who should also be arrested. So, to help spread the word, order my new Arrest Dr. Fauci shirt from my online store at markdice.com. And like all of my designs, it's available in a t-shirt, long sleeve, and a hoodie, and a whole bunch of different colors as well. So head on over to markdice.com or click the link in the description below and check it out.